Hello friends. So I'm going to take a class on tuberculosis in children. Tuberculosis, as you all know, it is a chronic infectious disease. It is caused by a Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Many times tuberculosis often goes undiagnosed in children due to lack of access to health services. In our country, like in India, there is lack of access to health services in many areas. Unprepared health workers, that's the reason why many a times they go undiagnosed. The incidence in India, 3 to 4 million children have TB, out of which 94 million are at risk. Most common age affected are between 1 to 4 years. As I already told you that it is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is mainly infects the lungs and it can also affect the other organs. The mode of transmission is through droplet or airborne. The risk factors for tuberculosis are low socioeconomic status or low socioeconomic group, low immunity, children with malnutrition, children with other immunodeficiency diseases, children with less immunity such as cancer. Those children can easily get HIV, and lack of immunization like BCG, which prevents miliary tuberculosis. If that is not given, that can cause tuberculosis. Malnutrition, these are the other risk factors for TB. Coming on to the clinical manifestations, children usually present with fever, weight loss. Fever would be mostly in the evening rise of temperature with weight loss, significant weight loss more than 5 to 10%, fatigue, loss of appetite, and cough. The most common type of TB is pulmonary tuberculosis. The other forms include tuberculosis lymphadenopathy, which involves the lymph glands, especially the cervical lymph nodes, the central nervous system, which can result in TB meningitis, disseminated TB, which is called miliary tuberculosis, where it involves all the other organs, TB effusions, where the children can, along with TB secondary to tuberculosis, they can have pleural or pericardial or peritoneal effusions, fluid collections in these spaces, and spinal tuberculosis, which is otherwise called Pott's disease. How do we diagnose TB in children? Children less than 5 years, it's difficult to diagnose using sputum collection. Therefore, specimens are obtained using the sputum, are obtained using the gastric juice, where early morning 6 a.m. we insert an NG tube and collect the gastric juice, sent for analysis for acid-fast bacilli. Other diagnostic tests are, we need to ask for any contact history of any contact with any person with TB, or any symptoms of these that I explained to you. The following symptoms we need to look for. Mantoux test is another test that we can do. It is nothing but a skin test, which is it's just a thing which I will be explaining to you later. That can be done. A bacteriological confirmation can be done by doing a gene expert test, where it will confirm whether the child has TB. Chest radiography can be done, and HIV testing also can be done, because TB is usually associated with HIV. Pathophysiology, when the organism enters through droplets, they reach the bronchioles in the lungs and cause inflammatory reaction with increased number of polymorphonuclear leukocytes, and this will help, or this will cause multiplication of the tubercle bacilli. This tubercle bacilli which multiplies, they form a ring of small round lymphocytes in the center. Mostly it occurs over the apex or in the upper portion of the lungs, resulting in a focus or a complex called a primary focus or a Ghon's focus, otherwise called Ghon's complex. This infection can spread through lymph nodes, causing disseminated TB. As I told you about the Mantoux test, this is nothing but we take the purified protein derivative. PPD is purified protein derivative. 0.1 ml is taken, and it is given as intradermal over the anterior, as you can see on the picture, it is given in the middle anterior forearm, mostly over the left forearm. And as you give intradermally, just below the skin, you need to wait for 48 to 72 hours to look for any inflammation or induration. If you see the result less than, when you measure it with a scale or an inch tape, if it is less than 5 millimeter, it is negative of TB. If it is between 5 to 9 millimeter, it is positive and shows that there is an exposure to infection. And if it is more than 10 millimeter, it is certainly positive for TB. A chest X-ray reveals the primary focus or the Ghon complex that you can see as a lesion on the X-ray. Sputum smear for AFB can be sent. That also determines whether the child has pulmonary or extrapulmonary TB. CSF analysis can be done to rule out TB meningitis. Treatment is anti-tuberculosis drugs. These are the standard drugs which can be used. So initially it can be given as a 6 months, 9 months or a 1 year treatment. Usually if it is first a primary diagnosis of pulmonary TB, they treat for 6 months. If it is a relapse, they treat for 9 months to 1 year. And if it is TB meningitis, certainly the treatment has to be continued for 1 year. The drugs that are used for TB are streptomycin, very rarely used, but the commonly used drugs are isoniazid, pyridoxine, pyrazinamide, rifampicin. These are the common drugs where initially rifampicin and isoniazid are given for 2 months, following which pyridoxine and ethambutol is another drug which can be added along with it. Among these drugs, ethambutol alone is a bacteriostatic drug. Other drugs are bactericidal, which kills the organism. Bacteriostatic prevents the reduces the multiplication of the bacteria. The duration of the disease depends upon the age, the health status, the severity of the disease, which ranges from 6 months to 2 years. Coming on to the nursing care, initially when you identify that the child or suspect a child to have TB, you need to isolate the child and follow strict reverse barrier technique. The reverse barrier technique includes wearing mask. Whenever you go near the child, you need to wear mask and other personal protective equipments. Hand washing, masking, gowning and gloving. Watch for any complications such as pleural effusion or any TB complications to the brain or to the lymph nodes. Monitor for the weight of the child and see that you give high protein and high calorie diet. Fever management with antipyretics and tepid sponging has to be done. Parental advice, we'll finish with this, is to improve the sanitation. Mainly, it is more common in overcrowded areas. We need to improve the sanitation. Tell them about the importance of BCG vaccination, which is given at birth, or it has to be at least given within 6 to 8 weeks after birth. Continuation and side effects of the drugs, of ETT drugs, we need to explain to them, because certain drugs can cause side effects like rifampicin can cause hepatotoxicity. Children who are on isoniazid, that can cause optic neuritis. Children who are on ethambutol, it can also isoniazid can cause peripheral neuritis and ethambutol can cause optic neuritis. Therefore, children has to undergo eye examination every 6 months to 1 year. These has to be stressed upon when you teach the parents on home care. Cough hygiene, tell them about using mask, or they need to cough. They are not supposed to cough in a public area. Use their hand, cover their mouth and use cough etiquette and cough hygiene. Proper disposal of sputum has to be explained to them, and watch for complications. TB can be prevented and if it is adequately managed. Thank you.